A very good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone present here today. A very warm welcome to Old Passion Singapore, Malaysia Global. My name is Jeannie Tan, your host today. Old Passion was formed in November 2020 and run by a group of dedicated host team members. We had our first trial webinar on the 23rd of September 2021, and our first public webinar was on the 30th of September 2021, under the mentorship of Dr. Bill Williams. We meet on every Thursday. The mission of Old Passion is to ignite passion for humanity, to nurture mindset and leadership for passion and oblast, and to form passion groups for good causes. And of course, before we call on our mentor, Dr. Tunishai, to coach us tonight, I would like to pass the next segment to Mabel.
Yes,
Mabel, over to
thank
you.
you, thank you. Okay, let's mute. The session has officially started and I would like to share. Okay, please mute. Thank you. Let me share screen of this. Can you hear me? You can still hear me, yeah?
Yes, we hear you.
Yes, we can.
Okay, good. Because I just want to share a
Yes,
little
loud
bit.
and clear.
Yes, this little tribute and memory is for our late Miss Sim Chui Hia. And today, this morning, she passed away at 7 a.m. 13th March 2025. And we want to remember her fondly as if there's such a thing, allowed to say, she is the 001 in Old Passion, Singapore, Malaysia, in this group, in this family, in this small family of ONPASSIVE. Chuya has been unwell for some time, and but right now, in the presence of God, we believe she is in perfect health and in the presence of God with peace and joy. Chui Hia, her full name is Sim Chui Hia, learned about ONPASSIVE from Dr. Bill Williams way back in November. Maybe she knew it a few months earlier in 2020, but in November 2020, she began sharing with a few of us. And myself and a friend actually taught him, one of the first two to, led by the Lord, to sign up with Chui Hia. And then in a way, Chui Hia has planted the seed of ONPASSIVE in us to make the world a better place. ONPASSIVE, led by our CEO, Mr. Ash Mufarah. Chui Hia, of course, is instrumental in bringing us all together. As Kumaran said, she is not computer savvy. She don't really dial in or be involved upfront and ONPASSIVE most of the time, but she is definitely a founder, an early founder, the pioneer of Old Passion. We will forever be grateful to Chui Hia. As the post here says, she is 70 years old. So we wish Chui Hia the best happiness heaven can give her, which is enjoying now. And let's say a little prayer to remember her. Father in heaven, we thank you for Chui Hia. We know you love her deeply and you have died for her. Right now, this morning at 7 a.m., absence from the body, but presence in the presence of your loveliness. And I thank you, you are embracing her, you are comforting her, and you are saying, good and faithful servant, you have done well. At 70, Chui Hia, you have run the race and finished the race triumphantly. So we thank you for bringing ONPASSIVE to Singapore, Malaysia, to me personally, and thank you for your support. Thank you for believing in me. And we know that we on earth need more prayers than you need. So we bid you farewell here. And in Christ, we will see each other again. So we can only say as a group here, we will remember you fondly forever and grateful to you. So thank you, Father in heaven, for bringing this dear sister in Christ to us, and needness to say, you are embracing her. Thank you for all things work for good to those who love you. In Jesus' name, we commit this moment to you, Lord, and dedicate Chui Hia, her work on earth. We know that she did more than introducing ONPASSIVE to us. She is your beloved, and she has been your mouthpiece, and we know she will get her reward right now, even with you. In Jesus' name, we say this little prayer. Amen. So let me stop share and come back. Oh, and come back. So this lady, Chui Hia, is the one who brought ONPASSIVE to this tiny island, Singapore. And I'm so blessed to sign up. And here we are. It's all history right up to today. The next thing I want to share on an upbeat is our speaker today, Dr. Tunishai Ford. And let me introduce her. Dr. T is the founder and CEO of Your Own Uniqueness, Inc., a non-profit organization. Dr. Tunishai Ford, in short, we call her lovingly, Dr. T, is an international transformational speaker, life coach, empowerment trainer, teacher of life skills. She had her own talk show, and it's called the Dr. Tunishai Ford Show. Dr. T is the editor and chief of an online international magazine called Discovering You magazine. So somewhere in the chat, we will post a link for you to sign up for this online magazine free of charge, and then be mentored and coached and enlightened by the various articles in this magazine. She has authored 4 books. Let me share them. As I have said earlier, showed this slide before, she authored 4 books. Taking Control, I Miss the Hurts, I Miss the Hugs, Not the Hurts. Taking Control of Your Life, The Spirit in You, and then this is a comma, not in your life, not full stop. So Dr. T has these 4 books that you can get on this website that we just shared. So Dr. T, once again, we thank you for coming to this platform, and not so much only coming, you are our coach. You are OPassion Singapore, Malaysia coach. And we want to thank you. for walking this journey with OPassion and personally with me. We are blessed to have you nurture us and empowering us every month with your life's keys and gems, sharpening our focus and growing our mindset. Tonight, the topic, everyone, tonight's topic is 7 habits to practice to keep us humble and grounded. And this is everything to us. Dr. T, the platform is yours while I stop share. Thank you again for coming tonight.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And I am, again, so honored. And, this message is so befitting for this day. And I want to dedicate this message to the late Miss Sim. I want to dedicate this message to her. And I believe that this message is very befitting to this memorial that we are celebrating today. When we think about life, as we travel on this journey that we call life, there's so many things that we have to endure and we face. And we know that death is one of them. It's inevitable. We're all going to face that one day. But the most important thing is, when that time comes, what will people have to say about us? How will we be remembered? What is the legacy that we're going to leave? Is it going to be that I was a wealthy person and I drove around in nice cars and had a fine home? Is it going to be that I was very arrogant and egotistic? Will they say that about you? Are they going to say that you were a person that operated in humility? You were a person that was grounded. You were a person that was giving. You were a person that was loving. You were a person that was teachable. You are a person that was reachable. What will they say about you? All these wonderful things that Mabel said about this woman that I wish I had gotten a chance to know. But look at the platform. Everybody who's on this platform right now, this is because of her. So I know that she lived a life of humility. And I know that she was grounded, because this is the fruit of it. This is the fruit of it right here. OPassion. OPassion is the fruit of it. So I dedicate this message to her. Again, the message is 7 daily habits that will keep you humble and grounded. We live in a world where it's important that we get accolades. We want to be praised for our education, for our material wealth, notoriety, those things that are tangible. But what about the things that are intangible, like our character? On this journey we call life, if we have an opportunity to practice the 7 habits that I'm going to share with you today that will help you maintain humility and be grounded, I promise you, you'll be well on your way to leaving a legacy that people will remember. They may not remember the beautiful sports car you drove. They may not even remember the large home you lived in. But they're going to always remember your character. So this message is about character. This message is about the true essence of success. So come with me on this journey as we cover the 7 habits. And everything I'm getting ready to share with you, you've heard it before. You've heard it all before. But we're going to give it to you in a different perspective this morning. So I wanted to say this to you all. The most respected and fulfilled people have something in common. They stay humble no matter how much they achieve, no matter how much. It turns out that humility it isn't just a personality trait. It's a practice. It's something that you have to learn. You have to practice it. So there are small daily habits that help us on our journey to stay level-headed, self-aware, and connected to others. So allow me right now to share the 7 habits. If you're taking notes, number 1, and again, I'm not sharing anything new. I'm just putting it in a perspective, in a different perspective. So if you're taking notes, number 1, practice gratitude daily. One of the most powerful habits that keeps successful people humble is gratitude. Gratitude. This is one of the most powerful habits that we can accumulate, having gratitude. The most grounded people take time every day to appreciate what they already have. Think about what you already have, not what you're trying to gain, but what you already have. Research shows that practicing gratitude can increase happiness, improve relationships, and even reduce stress. It shifts your focus away from your ego and entitlement, helping you stay connected to the people and experiences that truly matter. A simple way to start is to take a few moments each day or in the evening and just write down a few things that you are grateful for. Maybe you're grateful for just getting through the day without any incidents, any negative incidents. Maybe you're grateful that you were able to complete your task that you assigned yourself for that day. Maybe you're grateful that you have children and grandchildren that you had an opportunity to talk to and you know they're all right. Everybody's fine. You might be grateful for that. Maybe you're grateful that you came through an insidious disease and you did not succumb to it. And you thank God every day that you have life. Whatever it is, you need to verbalize that. Either you write it down on a piece of paper or you say it out loud. But you need to acknowledge that there's something that you're grateful for. By making gratitude a daily habit, you remind yourself that success isn't just about accomplishments. It's about appreciating the journey and the people who support you along the way. So number 1, again, we're talking about the 7 daily habits that keep you humble and grounded. Number 1 is practice gratitude daily. The second one, if you're taking notes, and this is so important, surround yourself with people who keep you in check. Yes, I said it. Surround yourself with people who tell you about yourself. I'm not talking about destructive criticism. I'm talking about constructive. I'm talking about people who care about you and love you and let you know, hey, look, this is not a good look for you today. Your attitude is not a good look for you today. Get it together. You need people like that around you. So that's one of the ways to stay humble is to have people who will let you know. They're going to call it out. They're not going to walk on eggshells around you. They're going to let you know that this is what you need to work on. True growth doesn't come from thinking you already have it all figured out. That's not true growth. It comes from people being open-minded to feedback and willing to learn from others. That's what true growth is all about. Letting other people correct you. Letting other people let you know that this is the area that you need to work on. That's true growth. Successful people stay grounded by surrounding themselves with honest, down-to-earth friends, mentors, and colleagues who keep them accountable. It's all about accountability. If you want to stay humble, if you want to truly stay humble and grounded, make sure you have people in your life who challenge you, not just agree with you. And that's what you want in your life. So again, number 2, we're talking about the 7 habits that will help you stay humble and grounded. Number 2 is surround yourself with people who keep you in check. Number 3, do something that reminds you you're not the center of the universe. In other words, it ain't all about you. Contrary to your belief, the world does not revolve around just you. There's other things more important. It's easy to get caught up in your own world. It really is, especially when everything is going well. You're in good health. You have material gain. You got that promotion. You got plenty of money in your bank account. You pat yourself on the back and say, all is well in my life. I'm good. It reminds me of the parable where Jesus talked about the man, the rich man, who had everything. And he talked about how wonderful his life was and how he had all these material things. And God said to him, you know what? You got all this stuff and you're so ungrateful. He said, but tonight I require your soul. And guess what? You're not even ready. We don't want to be in that position. So we always want to make sure that we acknowledge that there's something and someone out there greater than we are. I shared this before when I had a chance to do this message. I talked about Niagara Falls. For those of you who've had an opportunity to go to Niagara Falls, it is an awesome sight. I went this last time. I went to the Canada side of Niagara Falls, and it's just as awesome on the New York side. But when I saw the falls, it's almost like God was speaking. It's like he was saying, I am God. And whenever I see it, I'm just in awe. I'm in awe because I have never seen such a phenomenon. And then you see people walking around, going on with their lives, not paying attention. But I just sat there and watched it. And I realized that, hey, look, I'm a little peon compared to this awesome sight. I'm a peon. Who created this awesome sight? The same person that created me created that. But that is a phenomenon that's far greater than me because it was created with godly hands. It was created by a living God. So that makes me feel humble to know that I am not the center of the universe like so many people may feel like they are. You have a lot of arrogant and egotistic people out here. You see it every day. They don't appreciate anything. All they appreciate is what they can gain, how far they can go in life. But if you really want to stay humble and grounded, remind yourself that you're not the center of the universe, whatever that might be for you. It might be Niagara Falls. It might be traveling all over the world to see the different wonders of the world. Wherever it might be. It might be the birth of a child. Whatever it might be. Remind yourself that, listen, there are things out there greater than you, more awesome than you. It keeps you grounded. It's not a put down because you're important too. You're important, but you want to keep things in perspective. You don't want to get to a place where you're so egotistical that you have to get that knock at your door by God and say, look, guess what? Tonight I require your soul and you're not ready to go. You didn't prepare yourself. You didn't live the right, you did not live the right life because you were so into you. You don't want to live like that. So number 3, for those of you who are taking notes, do something that reminds you that you're not the center of the universe. Number 4, and this is something I know that you all can relate to because we're on that platform, passion. Engage in acts of service. If you want to stay humble and grounded, engage in acts of service. One of the simplest ways to stay humble is to help others without expecting anything in return. See, that's the key. So a lot of times people do things for you because they want something in return. Maybe they want a monetary reward. Maybe they want to get a plaque or a certificate, or they want you to announce it like, oh, let's look what somebody did for me. No, it's about doing things behind the scene, doing kind things for somebody, and nobody even knows about it but the person that you help. That's the only one that knows. Success isn't just about, again, personal achievements. It's about lifting others up. A study found that people who regularly engage in acts of kindness experience greater life satisfaction and even lowers their stress level. Did you know that? When you help other people, it actually lowers your stress level. Okay, they don't chase success. People who are humble and grounded and who help other people, they don't chase success for themselves. They use their time, skills, and resources to make a difference in other people's lives. So ask yourself, are you using your time, your skills, your resources to make a difference in someone's life? Whatever that might be. There's a couple who lives in my complex. They're an elderly couple, 84 and 85 years of age. The wife has dementia. The husband, he's very bright, very lucid, but he has a very weak body. In fact, a few days ago, he fell. And a lot of people come and see about him, but his family, his children are so far away. They're not in a position to come and see about him. So he has a few neighbors that come and rally around and some friends that come and see about them. Now, Dr. T, what I do, and this is all he wants someone to come down and spend time with him. So from time to time, a few days out the week, I go down and I spend time with him. We talk and laugh. We go through pictures and we reminisce about the past, his past, of course. And we watch movies together. And he really enjoys that. And every time I go down, he always tells me how much he appreciates that. And to the average person, that's no big deal. But to him, it's everything. It's everything to have someone take time out of their lives to come and spend time. And I don't mean 15, 20 minutes. I'm talking about hours sometimes. Just sitting down, watching a movie, laughing, talking, letting him go back down memory lane. That makes him feel happy. That gives him a sense of purpose for his life that day. And that's my contribution. He doesn't ask me for anything. He may ask me to maybe wash clothes or help him make up the bed, and that's it. But all he wants from me is a little bit of my time. And I am more than honored to do that. And when I do that, I feel like, wow, that was probably the best part of my day. Although you know Dr. T is busy doing this and busy doing that. But the most important thing is when I can go and this particular gentleman tells me how much he appreciates me coming down, spending time. So whatever that might be for you, give people your time, your skills, your resources, and this will make all the difference in the world. So again, if you want to be humble and remain grounded, take the time to engage in acts of service. That's number 4. Number 5, now this might be a little hurtful, but I got to say this anyway. Number 5, admit when you're wrong. Ouch. Ooh, Dr. T is stepping all over my toes. Admit when you're wrong. That's a big one. Nothing tests your humility more than being able to say, I was wrong. I made a mistake. I blew it. Most people don't enjoy admitting their mistakes. They don't. It's like a hit to their confidence and self-esteem. They don't want to admit that they made a mistake. They want to be right about everything. But the most successful people in life, the most respected people, aren't the ones who are always right. They're the ones who are willing to learn and grow because they understand that nobody is perfect. We all make mistakes, but you should be the one before anyone to say, I was wrong. Don't wait for somebody to tell you that you were wrong. You should be able to look in the mirror. Your conscience should tell you, hey, I was wrong about that. I should not have said that. I should not have done that. I shouldn't have had those thoughts. I was wrong. And when you can check yourself, nobody else has to check you because you've already done it. You already admitted that you made a mistake. You've already admitted that you're not, again, the greatest person in the room, that you're human, that you're human. And the sooner you embrace this, the sooner that you embrace this, the more you'll grow, not just in success, but in wisdom and in character. Remember, it's all about building character. So if you truly want to be humble and you truly want to be grounded, be the first one to admit that you were wrong. Number 6, we're winding down. Number 6, listen more than you speak. That's hard for some people, I know. But listen more than you speak. A big part of staying humble is realizing that everyone has something they can teach you, believe it or not. And that starts with listening. Listening, not always talking. Remember, you have one mouth and 2 ears. There's a reason for that. One mouth, 2 ears. There's a reason for that, guys. Because God wants you to do twice as much as listening as you do talking. Whether it's in a meeting or conversation, some people feel like they need to share their opinion all the time, offer their advice, or showcase what they know. Hey, how many of you know people like that? You get into a conversation and they monopolize the whole conversation because they want to show you they're the smartest person in the room. And then when you hear those kind of people talk, and when you're around those kind of people, how does that make you feel? How does that make you feel? The most successful and genuinely respected people aren't the ones who talk the most, they're the ones who listen the most. True listening isn't just waiting for your turn to speak. It's about fully understanding what the other person is saying without immediately judging or reacting. So number 6, if you truly want to be humble and stay grounded, listen more than you speak. That's number 6. And last but not least, and this one might really be hard to swallow. This one might be kind of hard to swallow, but it's very, very important. Number 7, remind yourself of your failures. Yes, Dr. T said that. Remind yourself of your failures. Most of you would say, I don't want to think about my failures. That's in my past. Leave the past in the past. Again, it might sound strange, but one of the best ways to stay humble is to regularly reflect on your failures. Remember, the key word is reflecting. I'm not saying browbeat yourself. I'm not saying go into a state of depression. I'm saying reflect. Because oftentimes when you can reflect on your past failures, you'll make sure they don't go into your present and they won't go into your future. When we achieve success, it's easy to forget the struggles and setbacks that got us here. Sometimes we forget about our past. We forget about all the things we went through. When we become successful and we get to be that person we've always dreamt of being, we forget where we came from. That's so easy to do that. You forget where you came from. But remembering those tough moments keeps us grounded. It reminds us that we're not invincible. You're not invincible. That we do make mistakes and that we didn't get here by ourselves. We think about the journey, how there are other people that were assigned to our lives that helped us on this journey that we call life. So when we reflect on our failures, it makes us stay humble because we realize again where we've come from, where we are, and where we want to go. So what you can do to keep a journal, make sure you keep a journal. You can either write it down on a piece of paper or write it down in a book, whatever you want to do, and just write down the different things that you know that you came from. One of the things I always tell Tony when we're in conversations, when she makes a mistake or I make a mistake or we go through an ordeal that was very, very uncomfortable, I'll say to her and she'll say to me, what did you learn? When you go through something, what did you learn from that experience? Because if you don't learn from that experience, what's going to happen? You're more than likely going to repeat it because you didn't learn. When God allows us to go through hardship, trials, and tribulations, it's a learning tool. It's not to hurt us. It's to build us up so that we can be better equipped to do the things that he's called us to do. Many of us are still in a state where we're still behind times because we're still in the past, because God is saying you can't go to the next level. You can't graduate yet because you haven't learned your lesson. It's just like a person, you heard how people are double promoted or they get left behind in school. We do that in America. I don't know about other countries, but in America, if you don't achieve the objectives for that particular grade, they leave you behind. You can't go to the next grade. That's how we do it here. It's the same way in life. If you don't learn from your mistakes, if you don't learn the lessons that you're supposed to learn while you're going through life, you are more than likely to repeat it. And that's just the cycle of life. So learn from your mistakes, move forward into your present, and look forward to the future. Number 7, remind yourself of your failures. And when you can apply these 7 habits that will help you to stay humble and grounded, practicing gratitude daily, surrounding yourself with people who keep you in check,
Hello?
doing something that reminds you that you're not the center of the universe, engaging in acts of service, admitting when you're wrong, listen more than you speak, and reminding yourself of your failures, you'll be well on your way to being a successful person by becoming humble and grounded. When you apply these 7 things, these 7 habits will help you become the best version of yourself. It will help you be a person of wisdom and impeccable character. I'm Dr. T, and thank you so much for allowing me to share. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, Dr. T. Thank you so much. Wow, powerful. I hope we have all learned much. I'm learning every time, each and every time when Dr. T comes around. Wow, my pen is very, very busy. And I'm sure most of us also. Then Mabel is showing her pen too. Thank you, Dr. T. Okay, and I see Sister Antoinette's hand. Sister Antoinette, over to you.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Excellent presentation. I'm always blessed with the presentations that come through the ONPASSIVE Passion platform. And yes, I wanted to share that when Dr. T and I, 20 years ago, when we had first met and I was working on her book, and we would walk her dogs. She had 2 dogs. And at the time, my thrust was service to my church. And, I didn't really think of anything beyond that. Church, job, that type of thing, like the average person. And so we were on a walk, and I was going through some things and that I was sharing with her. And she says, "So what did you learn?" And it kind of threw me aback, because usually when you're expressing your problems and your woes, the person will be, "Oh, that's so terrible. I'm sorry you have to go through that," and so forth and so on. And they give you their condolences and, "I'm sorry," and all that. But instead of that, Dr. T says, "So what did you learn?" And I thought about it, and I thought that was the most profound thing. And so from that day to this, when I go through something, I always think about what I've learned from it. And so it's not so grievous a thing, because she made me see that everything that we go through has a purpose. And she's always talking about purpose. And I thank God for her, because she brought an entirely different perspective to the problems and the trial and tribulations that we go through each and every day. There's a value to it, and a lot of growth and self-analysis and whatever else. So I thank you, Dr. Ford. Wonderful. I count you as a wonderful best friend. I am thoroughly blessed. And I know that you will continue to bless so many people. I've seen you. And thank you. Love you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Antoinette. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Sister Antoinette. Thank you.
Ah.
Okay, Brother John.
We're gonna say me too, we too. Best friend, best of all, friends forever. Yeah.
Brother
Yes,
John,
thank you.
over to you.
Can't hear you. John.
Oh, are you talking to me? Sorry. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I didn't know you were talking to me. Hi. Yes, I think another good, thank you, Dr. T, another excellent presentation with your 7 points. Very clear, very simple. I actually think I try to adhere to those points. I don't know how well I do at it, but I do try so that I can remain grounded and humble. I would like to say, though, that I would just caution everyone, myself, point number 7, think about your faults. Or failures, rather. Think about your failures. Now, I just want to caution everybody. What I tend to do sometimes, I will admit, is that sometimes I dwell upon my failures. So in thinking about my failures, it's not a good idea to dwell on them, I think. Once we do think about it, we should then use it to improve ourselves and move forward. Sometimes, and I've had friends tell me, and even very recently, that sometimes I'm too hard on myself, and sometimes I dwell on my failures. So I just want to bring that point up. Yes, great point, but be cautionary that you don't want to dwell too much on your failures. Once you've thought about them, get rid of them and move forward. All right, that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Yep.
Yes,
Alright.
thank you. Totally agree, John. Thank you so much for a reminder. Yeah, we are all learning as well. Thank you so much. All right, Sister Melanie, over to you.
Thank you. Good morning, Jeannie. Good morning, Mabel and Dr. T and everybody else, John and all. Yes, Dr. T, thank you very much for always bringing good thoughts, good habits, bringing us, a bowl full of sharing attitude and gratitude. Thank you. Yeah, every time I go to bed, well, not every time, but as often as before I go to bed, I mean, some people say they don't believe in there's a God, but there is a higher power, all right? And I go on my knees whenever I can, and I give thanks, because I mean, we have to be grateful, because we always know that someone did not make it to bed even. Someone did not wake up. So why shouldn't I be thankful and grateful? I know besides a lot of things that are happening, Dr. T, you mentioned it, right? We had to be filled with gratitude, because we didn't place ourselves here. There's so many things that we have to be grateful for. And I always keep in my mind that little line, that too shall pass. As hard as it is, or as challenging as it is, or as testing as it is, that too shall pass. And by that, I mean, everybody knows what that too shall pass. So whatever the problems we think that are bigger than the one who placed us here, think again, because he is thinking of us as thou of little faith. And I don't want to dim my light. I don't want to be less faithful. I'm not overly religious person, but I'm a believer and I'm spiritual. And I want to keep it that way, because if we are not in that mode, we will be flattened. I have witnessed that throughout the winter period. I strayed away from my prayers. I strayed away from what lifts me up, and I felt like I was sinking. So I decided the sunlight is on. We are approaching the nice bright weather. I am going back to do the things that I knew, and it's really telling, positively on me, and I feel more vibrant, more energetic. So Dr. T, you're right. The things that you brought out in the points, the 7, good attitudes, the 7 good habits. Yeah, we should imply them. We should apply them in our lives because they do help. As we always say, an unhealthy mindset is an unhealthy body, and it causes us almost like we are poisoned. If we keep the
Yes.
things in our mind, that the minus ones, the negative ones all the time, it causes us
Yes.
to have that negative approach. But when we keep the positiveness in us, when we think of good things, always offering a positive line, a smile, a heart, or whatever it is, these things can cause us to go very far. In the midst of every adversity, everything that is happening, every dark cloud, there is always that light at the end of the tunnel. I truly, truly believe that. And it comes as many times in my life. And I know that too shall pass. Whatever is going on, I will adapt the good habits. Not every time, but as often as I can. And Dr. T, I thank you very much. It couldn't be much of a better 7 habits that you bring out to us today. Thank you. Thank you, Jeannie and
Thank
Mabel
you.
as well.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Thank you, Melanie. Thank you, Melanie.
Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Sister Melanie. Thank you for
You're
sharing.
welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome.
All right. Do we have any others who wants to share or ask something? Anyone?
Because I want to share something.
Okay, sure. Over to Mabel.
Yeah. Everything, Doctor, when she speaks, when she gives us all these points and keys, we feel so protected and equipped. In a sense, these are the points that move us on and help us in our journey, in our life's journey. So every time when you hear her speak, you just feel that, okay, there's a direction. She has given us a path, how to move forward positively and powerfully. So really, I want to practice, begin to do some, each day, write the few things that we are grateful. Like Dr. T says, these are all things that we know that they are good, but to have it taught to us in a particular session like that, it just reinforced the necessity to do it and how it will ground us. And also, can you imagine the person that hears your gratitude? It really worked both ways. We ought to say thank you, and the person who hear it also empower that person. So what a wonderful session to learn to be grateful every day and to articulate it. For me, is to say it, to articulate to that person that thank you for being in my life.
Yes.
What did you learn is so powerful. Even in moments of achievement and success, what did you really learn? And of course, much more when you face with a failure, And Dr. T says it, the word value. Value every mistake, trial, and temptation. Value it so as not to repeat it. Value it to humble ourselves. Not so much to bring ourselves down. No, never. It doesn't never meant it that way, but so that we don't repeat the mistake, and so that it to stay humble and to move forward positively and in wisdom. So, of course, Dr. T has said this before, but can you imagine when she said it a few months ago? It's so refreshing and it's so necessary to hear it again. What have you learned? What have you learned in every?
Yes.
I think
Yes.
Mabel is cut off. Mabel has been cut off. Dr. T, you want to say something, Dr. T?
Yes, yes. I just wanted to make a comment about what John said and what the other two said. You know, John, you're absolutely right about number 7. Remind yourself of your failures. Sometimes we can get to a place where we dwell.
Yeah.
We dwell, on our failures. And you're absolutely right about that. That can happen so easily. I think we're all guilty of that. We get to a point where maybe we're having a bad day. Maybe things just didn't go right that day, and we sit there and when we're reflecting, and instead of us reflecting to learn and to grow, we're reflecting because we're browbeating ourselves. And I think that's just human nature, John. So I don't want you to, like Lisa, I don't want you to feel bad about that because I think that happens. But I wanted to bring that point up about reminding yourself of your failures because sometimes I think that, remember, the message is being humble and grounded because we have so many people who are so egotistical and arrogant. You know what I'm saying? And they don't remind themselves of anything that they failed about because they feel they don't fail. And so we're talking about on this journey of life, if you truly want to see true success and you truly want to be in good standing with our Heavenly Father, when you remind yourself, like Tony always says to me, if you remind yourself of your failures, He won't have to. You know what I'm saying? If you can look in the mirror and say, hey, you know what? I blew it today, God. He won't have to because you don't want God to check you. You really don't. You don't want Him to check you. So if you're checking yourself and you say, yeah, I realize that I messed up. I realized that, yeah, I made a mistake. And then because when he got ready to slap you upside your head, he pulled the hand back because you already admitted that you were wrong. But if you don't, because you don't want God to get a hold of you. So that's a good point, Don. But you don't want to dwell on your mistakes, but you do want to make sure that you recognize them. And like you said, recognize them, grow from them, and move forward. And the other part about gratitude that you talked about, Mabel and Melanie. I think that something we don't do is something that I've started doing. My mother used to always tell me when I was growing up that you give people their flowers when they're alive. That's something we don't do enough. I tell people all the time when I leave here, and Tony knows this, when I leave here, I don't want any flowers. I don't want anybody to put any flowers on my grave or on my casket. I don't want that. Because if you have anything good to say about me, if you appreciate me, tell me why I can still hear it and I'm alive. The other day I was talking to Tony, and Tony would tell you, I just built her up. I just told her how wonderful she was, how much she meant to me. And I don't mean to put you on the spot, Tony, but I'm just being honest. Because I want her to know that I appreciate you. I don't want to wait until she's dead and gone if she should go first and tell her over her grave how much I loved her, how much I appreciated her, how much she's valuable to me. I want to do this when she's alive. So
Yes.
it's not just about showing gratitude for things or events. It's about showing gratitude to people. Tell somebody that's in your life that maybe you don't always get a chance to tell them, but if somebody in your life that truly has made an impact, tell that person. That's all part of the gratitude. That's all part of the humility. To tell someone while they're alive, you know what? You matter to me. You're valuable to me. You're the wind beneath my wings. You're trying to walk in my shadow. I should be walking in yours. You're all of that in a bag of chips. You're the real McCoy. They need to hear that. So that's something I think you should always practice. And also, when it comes down to reminding yourself that you're not the center of your universe, what better thing was to raise your hands to a living God? What is more awesome and bigger than He is? He's the greatest thing in your universe. So when you can humble yourself every day and look up and say, you are the greatest thing in the universe, and I'm just somebody you allow to breathe on this earth, that humbles you. That humbles you. When you put Him first, when you exalt Him, then that puts things in perspective. It lets you know that you're not invincible. The world does not revolve around you, and you're not all that. When you can look up and say, there's somebody greater than me, and he's God. So I just wanted to leave you all with that. Thank you.
Love you, girl.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. T. Mabel, you were
Yeah.
cut off just now. You
Yes,
want
I
to
was cut
continue?
off. I actually went out of Zoom.
Yeah.
Actually went out. Yeah. I think exactly what I wanted to say is to articulate not only just grateful in your heart, but to say it out, say it to somebody because it will benefit that person. Yeah, not to keep it. Yeah. So Dr. T was closing the whole meeting, right? Was it her closing statement? Or okay, no. Bruce is has got.
Thank you very much, Mabel. Dr. T, I want to thank you very much for your words of kindness and gratitude for all of us. One of the things that asked in the theme of one of our logos is uplift humanity. And certainly you have a way of uplifting us as well. I remember I learned about many years ago about finding out what is the message I have to learn from mistakes that I thought I did. What do I have to learn here? Instead of being stuck in the mistake, learn from it. Always learn from it. Always be grateful for the lessons I have to learn, because all of them are really from God. Some way or the other, it all comes back down to what does God have to tell me today? What does He want me to learn today? I don't operate on failures today. I operate on growing and growing and growing. So one of the things I read many years ago was a book. It was called The 7-Day Diet. In the 7-Day Diet, there was only one instruction: don't entertain a negative thought for 7 days. And most people say it's impossible to do that. The thing about it is the word entertain has to do a lot with entertaining the things that are negative in our lives and dwelling on them, dwelling and dwelling and dwelling, and getting stuck in the rut of mistakes. And it wanted you to get out of fondling that mistake, fondling the negative thought, and just saying, oh, I have a negative thought. What is the lesson from a negative thought that I have? And when I do that, I can be grateful. I had a man years ago, no matter whether he thought his day was not good or was good, at the end of the day, he thanked God for all things. So here we are in ONPASSIVE, and the greatest thing we can do is always thank God and thank us for all things that happen during the day. In the world of ONPASSIVE, we learn about patience, we learn about perseverance, we learn about compassion for others, we learn about support for others. And what you've done today is support us in our journey, which is a journey of life. So more and more I'm learning to just be patient and believe and believe and believe. Because once you believe, the hope becomes something that it becomes internal inside of us. And once you have hope inside of us, there's nothing that can ever take that hope away, except we want to entertain negative thoughts. These negative thoughts are not a good place to be. So always, whenever you're having a negative thought, think of something that will always, without fail, make you smile. Whether it's a person or an experience or the joy of the day, just think of something that will guarantee you smile.
Yes.
So we can smile every day rather than dwell on the things that are going wrong during the day. So I want to again thank you very much for your wisdom, for your kindness, for your love, and I appreciate you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much,
Thank
Bruce.
you.
Thank you so much, Bruce.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bruce.
Praise
Thank
God.
you, Bruce. Mabel, what do you?
Yes. Thank you. And I know my link is a bit weak. What I actually really want to say is, what did we learn? And we learned from life, the ups and the downs, the success and the failure, and everything has a value, and it just improve us. And as Dr. T says, with wisdom and character, we become impeccable. So, Jeannie, shall we get Dr. T to help us close the
Yes,
meeting?
please. Yes,
Yes,
please.
thank you.
Over to you, Dr. T.
Thank you so much. And again, I am so grateful for this platform. I'll tell Tony all the time, I really enjoy being a part of this, and I'm just so honored that Queen Debbie McCormick even asked me to be a part of this platform. You all are very special to me. You really are, and every time I come, you make me feel so welcome. You're giving me my flowers now. So if anything happens to me, you don't have to ever feel bad. You can say, I told Dr. T how much I appreciate her. So I appreciate that very much so. But in my final thoughts, I just want to say that, again, on this journey that we call life, I think the most important thing is not the material wealth, how much money we have in our accounts. It's going to be when people think about us, what is the legacy that we're going to leave? I want people to remember me by saying that Dr. T was a person who was authentic, that she was a person who actually cared. She was a person that was dependable, and she was a person that was humble and grounded. Tony always tells me, you too humble, and I don't even know why. Maybe it's because of the things I've come through in life or gone through. And maybe it's because I always try to keep myself in check because I don't want to raise my head and become arrogant, because it's so easy to become arrogant, egotistical. It's so easy to become that. So I keep myself in check, and I want to remain humble and grounded because I want to always know again that there's somebody out there greater than me. That's why I look up and I'm reminded that, hey, look, I am just a small piece of a larger plan. And when you realize that you're just a small piece of a larger plan, that's humbling. So I just want to leave you all with this. Success is a journey. It's not just a destination. So the more you stay humble along the way, the more meaningful the journey will become. Stay humble and grounded while you're on this journey of life. God bless all of you. And thank you for letting me share.
Thank you.
Mm.
Thank you,
Wow.
Dr. T. And thank you, everyone, for being here tonight. And for those of you who have joined us for the first time, I hope you have learned much from Dr. T. And I hope that it's going to help all of us on the 7 habits and do practice them, yeah?
Yes.
Yes. And
Yes.
Mr. Deb Long, welcome. Heard you are a friend of John Barilla. Hi. Yeah. We'll see you again next Thursday. Yeah. And the rest of you. Yeah. Good night and good morning and good day to everyone who's
Goodbye,
here.
Thank you.
everybody.
Thank you, Dr.
Thank
T.
you.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Dr. T. We love you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Love you guys.
Thank
Have a blessed day.
you.
Enjoy the rest of the
Yes,
week.
yes,
Thank you.
yes.
Thank
Thank
you, Dr.
you.
T. Thank you,
Bye.
John. Thank you, Antoinette.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Jeannie.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.